Hello, this is the mapping for the disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa, and I'm using the Forensic Astrology Workbook by Kirsty McIntosh, and I'm also using the Criminal Astrology Volume 1 by Kirsty McIntosh. Now, what I've done is I've used scribble maps to map the planets and some other things from the chart, like the asteroid for DNA, the north node, the south node, that sort of thing. All right, and what you're seeing right now is a 700-mile radius, because the chart, the ascendant is 7 degrees Scorpio. And so I went out 700 degrees to see if any planets or anything that I mapped would end up going through this this area. There was a PJP landfill near the Pulaski Skyway in Jersey City, New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. And some people feel very strongly that he's buried in that landfill or very close to it. And it's not a landfill anymore, from what I understand. I think now there's like a park, golf course, that sort of thing. But it was on Sip Street, so this pin is Sip Street, and it comes out to be about 104 to 106 degrees, and none of the planets or any of the other things like the North Node, the Vertex, etc., the asteroid for DNA, none of that mapped there, but I went ahead and put it in the radius anyway, just to see if something would map there, and it didn't. Now, it might if we change the time to 2:45, because some people said, witnesses said they saw him last at 2:45 getting into a vehicle. I think it was a burgundy, like maybe a Mercury or something like that, with a white trim. I think that's what I heard. I'm not sure. So anyway, I'm going to zoom in way in. Let me grab my... Okay, there we go. Let's zoom into the 70-mile radius. We can go 7 miles, 70 miles, 700 miles. You get the idea. Because the ascendant started at 7 degrees Scorpio. Okay, so what I've done here is I'm going to highlight everything I mapped. This was the MC in Leo. And let's see, this is the south node, and I believe it was in Taurus at 28 degrees. This is Uranus, and this is Mercury. And this is what I mapped I attempted to map it. It's really hard to map a 700-mile radius, by the way. It's really hard to get it on point. But anyway, that's where I mapped to 400 Sip Avenue to see if anything would line up with it, and it didn't. But like I said, changing the time to 2:45 might change that, or even 2:30. Let's see here. So there's the north node. As you can see, it's highlighted. I hope you can see it's highlighted. That is the vertex. That is Chiron. And that's up here. That's Sip Avenue. I've already shown you that in Jersey City. That's the Neptune line. That's the Saturn line. That's the Pluto line. That's the Venus line. That's the part of fortune. That's the sun. And the sun and Mercury are really close in this chart. And according to Kirsty McIntosh, she says that searches should definitely be conducted where the pie sections are really close together, like here and here and here. She has said that the most missing people and fugitives and whatnot have been found where the pie sections are the closest, which I think is interesting. And then this is the hotel in, I think it's downtown Detroit. The Renaissance Hotel. There's a theory that he's buried under concrete under the cornerstone of the Renaissance Hotel. A line doesn't exactly go through there. It kind of goes to that area, but it doesn't exactly go through the hotel. Not if the chart is timed at 2:15. Sorry. Here's the moon, and here's the fourth house cusp. Here is Mars, the asteroid for DNA, and it is very close to Uranus, by the way. You see two lines there. Right here, you see two lines. So that's DNA and Uranus right there. And it's going through, it's like southwest of Detroit, it looks like. I can zoom in and get closer, but I just want to show you everything that I have mapped. Mars, DNA, the asteroid for James, because his name was James. Let's see here. And then we have the Ascendant. I hope you can see that highlighted. That's the 700-mile radius. It goes off the picture. The 70-mile radius right there. The 7-mile radius right there. And there's Telegraph Road. There's the restaurant. The Machus Red Fox, which is now called something else. I can't remember. But I've been there. I used to be a long-haul truck driver, and I've eaten just about everywhere in the country. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you everything and show you everything that I mapped. Now we can start to zoom in, and I'm really interested. I don't know about you, but I'm really interested in this Uranus and DNA being really close together. Because Kirsty says that's where the most missing people are found. And I want to zoom in on this. Now, this right here, it's hard for me to draw these lines. I've gotten them pretty close, but they're just a little bit off because it's hard for me to draw these lines on a computer screen so small. This is only a 14-inch laptop. So that's why you see these little crooked lines. But anyway, we'll zoom into the 7 miles. Okay, and as you can see, you can get down really close. Okay, like right here within the 7-mile radius, you see these two lines really close together. And a place called Spruce Street is highlighted, Woodbank Drive, etc. And the Kirsty says that it's best for them to search right along these lines. So, and she has actually been successful in helping to find missing people and whatnot. But I will tell you this. If you have a really small computer screen like this one, your lines, you'll have difficulty getting them perfect with this center right here. I like to put them at the bottom of the pen, the very tip top of the pen, the very tip of the pen, and that's really hard for me to do on this computer screen. But if you have a really large computer screen and a desktop, it's probably going to be a lot easier to draw these lines. So anyway, that's what I've done on this so far, and I'm going to share the link publicly so that you can look. As you can see, one of these lines goes down toward Detroit, toward that hotel, but not quite. It needs the trajectory needs to be more along here, okay, in order for that theory to play out in the astrology mapping, okay. And I'm really new at mapping. I'm really new at using these crazy tools, and it's been kind of driving me crazy. But okay, this is the radius tool. Okay, I'll just show you some of the tools in case you're not familiar. Of course, this is the tool that you use to move the map around. This is the line tool. This is the tool that gives me nightmares because I just have trouble seeing to do this, okay, on such a small screen. And let me just show you how aggravating it is. I have to just show you, okay? So let's see. Let me grab a line tool. No, not yet. I've got to stay with the hand tool. Okay, and I'm going to move this up. Okay, I'm going to try to get this within range of that that pin in New Jersey. Okay, which is, like I said, not even going to be possible. But I'll just show you how frustrating this is. So I'm going to grab the line tool. I'm going to scoot that over. And I'm going to try to start here at this very tip of this marker. And I'm going to try to go 700 miles. And if you hit anything on the way, it completely bumps you off. I mean, it see that where it says bearing? That's the miles. That's what you're trying to get to. But as you can see, it's hard for me to get the map to move. And then if I move this line tool, if I move this line tool the wrong way, or I took my hand off this thing in order to show you, I lost the numbers completely. So I got to go over here and I got to delete that. Okay. Because, well, okay, it's an overlay that's not labeled. That's how I know that has to be deleted. Let me show you. I'm sorry. There we go. There. See, I got to delete that because it just went wonky on me, and it's going to be really difficult to go precisely point to point, okay, and keep the trajectory without hitting anything and getting your numbers knocked off to where you can't even see what you've got. So that is the challenge of this location mapping. Now, Kirsty uses Placidus always. You can try to use other house systems, but it's not really going to matter because the planets are going to have the same degrees. Okay, so I'm just going by what she said. So for this overlay type mapping that we're doing, you could, probably use Coke or Placidus, because the positions of the planets don't really change. The houses change, but the position, the degrees of the planets don't. And that's what you're mapping. You're mapping the degrees of the Vertex, Chiron, Neptune, Saturn, Venus, the MC, the IC, the South Node, the North Node. You get the idea. And so, anyway, that's what I've been into here. It has taken me about 2 days to map Jimmy Hoffa's last seen chart. That's what we're mapping here. And so, yeah, any comments or input or anything you'd like to give, I'd love it. Thank you very much.